Okay.
Cool.
Alright, that should be good.
Welcome, everyone, to new episode of CinemaDopes. We're episode 6, I believe. And yeah, and we are actually doing something different. We have, we're going to be doing a bit of a theme for the next couple episodes because of the upcoming Harold and the Purple Crayon movie coming out, starring,
Yeah, Harold.
starring Zachary Levi. And I don't know about you guys, not looking forward to that movie, hence why this movie we watched.
Is anybody looking forward to the Harold and the Purple Crayon movie? I mean, I don't think this really had the biggest fan base.
It honestly should have been an animated movie, same way that this should have been an animated movie. By the way, we're talking about Cat in the Hat, a 2004 film or 2003 film directed by Bo Welch. Yeah,
Yeah, baby. Shit, wait, wrong character.
I actually just found out about Bo Welch. He's from Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah, he's representing the state with pride.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I shouldn't judge. Oh, yeah. I shouldn't judge because before recording here, I actually looked up a couple things about Bo Welch, and this was his only movie directing credit.
Yeah, because usually he was a set designer for mostly Tim Burton. I think that was his
I have a list of movies that he's done. Well, most notably, he's done The Color Purple, which I believe he got nominated for an Oscar for.
Yep.
That was his first time as a production designer, which that's sick. He did Beetlejuice. He did Edward Scissorhands. Yeah. He did Batman Returns. He did all three.
Hell yeah!
Yeah, he did all 3 Men in Black movies.
Nice.
And he also did the first Thor movie. There's
no comment.
Yeah, he's done a bunch of others, but those are his most notable ones, I think.
Okay, I would defend his production design on Thor 1 though, because looking back on that movie, it actually didn't look that bad production design wise.
Yes, Thor 1 actually does look pretty good. Thor 2 is a mess. And then Thor 3 is pretty good, and then Thor 4 is a mess. I'm noticing a power with the Thor movies. But yeah, this movie obviously, we've all had a connection watching this movie beforehand. We've had a very nostalgic take on this because we grew up watching it. And
out of a total of the 4 movies I grew up watching, this was one of them.
What were the other 4?
This was the Simpsons movie.
Okay.
The Sandlot.
Okay.
And Nacho Libre.
All right, I was about to say we were the same here until Nacho Libre. I've actually never seen it.
What?
What?
Next episode.
Whoa, really?
Next episode.
Next episode.
Use your eagle powers.
I just have not seen
eagle powers. Dude. I don't think we could be friends anymore, Cade.
Brother.
Honestly, dude. Yeah, so anyway, we're talking about Cat in the Hat, actually.
Yeah, we're going to talk about Cat in the Hat. So, one of my notes here, I guess we'll just start with, obviously it's based off the Dr. Seuss novel,
Novel?
Or not novel, the
novel?
Yeah, the Dr. Seuss novel.
Yo, did the Cat in the Hat...
I wish.
We gotta see... Did the Cat in the Hat movie have a novelization?
That'd be pretty funny. No,
that would be so good.
But yeah, it was based off the famous Dr. Seuss children book. Again, this is the main reason why we're doing this movie in the first place. But
there is a junior novelization.
That's funny. But yeah, I guess let's just start up on the movie itself, where it just starts off on. Is he outside of the cat? Is the boss one of the best characters in that movie?
Mr. Hoverflu?
Yeah.
Yes.
He's one of the best characters.
He's a contender, yeah.
Yeah. And then he plays a much more annoying character later on in the film. It's wild to me.
He is... yeah.
And
when I was 5,
we'll get there when we get there.
When I was 5, Mr. Humberflube yelling "fired" was the funniest thing to me.
It's still pretty funny.
It used to kind of scare me as a kid because it was so intense in the weirdest way.
I think the initial like him yelling, like I think that was just a way to get the kids' attention, to be like, oh, movie is already happening. And then honestly, I think later on when it's like the dream sequence, I think that's a bit more creepy of him going, "You're fired, 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 fired." Yeah.
Fired. No, he takes a moment to like breathe
and
then does it again.
Then it turns funny when he breathes in.
So yeah, I noticed that you laughed at this movie, which was really interesting because what are your thoughts on this movie, Cade?
Okay. I was initially going into Cat in the Hat thinking, man, this movie is not gonna have aged that well, from what I remember, because I remember the cat, obviously. I remember the car. I remember them riding on the nanny, Mrs. Kwan, with the Universal Studios joke. I remember that specifically.
We'll get there when we get there.
Right. We'll get there when we get there. And I remember the fired. I remember, that was like more later on in life. I was like, oh yeah, that happened in that movie. And then going into it, yeah, I had very low hopes for this. After watching it, not as bad as I thought it was.
Right?
It's not as bad as I thought it was gonna be. Like it's honestly, it's on like B tier Adam Sandler movie range.
That's not bad.
It's not bad.
Yeah, okay.
That's your Big Daddy, your Billy Madisons, like that. Your kind of movies like that.
So just addressing the elephant in the room in terms of like just how we feel. I love this movie like a lot. Everyone hates this movie, like despises it. But in all honesty, like I never really thought it was that bad. I understand why people think it's bad, and does it piss on the legacy of Dr. Seuss and the movie? A little bit, I think so. Is the dialogue kid friendly? Not really.
But that kind of makes it better.
You get yeah, I'll get to that. But I honestly thought that it was just always like a really fun, like funny, like just turn your brain off kind of movie.
Yeah.
I say that with everything. I don't even think it's really turn your brain off, because there is a lot of like funny jokes that I didn't even catch the first time of just like hidden in plain sight.
I agree with you, Seb. I also really like this movie because like we were talking about before how the director Bo Welch, like how he was a production designer, and I feel like him having that background in that like specific area of filmmaking, like it makes this movie really pop out like aesthetically. I really love how this movie looks, like all the different sets, even extending to the costume design. Like it just looks really, really great. But I also think that the movie itself is it's honestly something special, because it's like I feel like I don't know like what the production history was of the movie, but it kind of feels like it was like he was given this movie and it's like, hey, we have to make a feature-length film based on this very short book, and he's like, if they gave him like as much creative freedom as he could, it's like, let's push this all the way that we can, like as far as we can, and I think he kind of succeeds at doing that, because it's just like off the wall crazy. I really admire that about this movie.
This movie, in a weird way, to me, is like someone making a movie poster, because it's just like you have so little to work with in terms of source material, and you're supposed to convey it all in one. You're supposed to convey it in like the biggest way possible. And this is essentially like Bo Welch getting a book that's like 20 pages long.
Right.
And it's like, how do I stretch this into... Well, to be fair, it is only like 80 minutes.
Yeah,
it's not a long movie
it's
at
not
all,
long
which I feel like adds to it. It also adds like a reason why I think it's so good, because it's just like a short time. It doesn't waste it. It's very concise. But they really stretched everything that they could possibly do with the Cat in the Hat.
Yeah.
In terms of just the production design. Everyone is like dripped out in this movie. Like everyone has like one tone color. Everyone is color coded. Everyone is designed a certain way. Conrad is wearing like a
orange.
Dr. Seuss pattern orange shirt.
He looks like the Lorax.
Like, head to toe, this movie is stylized, and I love it so much for that. Like, the buildings, the prop design, like, all the props are, like, tangible and made. Even when it gets to CG, at least, like, it's only that for, like, the beginning, and then it goes into full-on sets for that. Flaming toilet and all, but we'll get to that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is honestly the catchphrase of this podcast. We'll get there.
Yeah. Rex, what are your like initial thoughts with the Cat in the Hat? Like your feelings on the matter.
Well, okay, so I feel like this movie should or has all the qualities that would at least seem to be like very appealing to me, or would be like a movie that I would undoubtedly love, like Derek and Seb. But I don't know. I feel like for some reason it just doesn't work for me. Also, I realized when I was a kid, I never really saw the full movie like all in one. I only ever saw like bits and pieces of it when it was like on TV or something. Like I think my earliest memory of this movie was the giant pen scene.
Yeah.
Which is like, I don't know, that's like what,
that
like in the middle later. It's
Yeah.
like that's late into the movie. Yeah. So that was like my first exposure, and I thought that was hilarious as like a 7-year-old. But then I think years later I saw like the couch scene when they're like jumping on the couch, and then I think the cat's like on the ceiling or something. It's hard. It's hard to remember this movie.
He's like scratching his ass.
It's hard
on
to
the
remember
ceiling.
anything.
Yeah. I'll be.
And I feel like the movie even though it's short, it throws so much at you that at least for me, it's like very taxing on my mind as I'm watching it, and I just feel like already like only like 25 maybe like half an hour in, I was already tired of the movie.
Burnt
And I
out.
was just like I
I
couldn't.
believe that's close to like.
I just couldn't
Yeah,
anymore.
that's close to.
It was just, and it's
Go ahead.
it's not like it's not terrible. I don't hate the movie. I just can't process the movie as it's happening. This is the best way that I could put it.
I think if I didn't watch the movie,
it's hard to
Oh, sorry.
digest.
Sorry.
It's hard to digest. I just want to finish that up. It's a movie that's hard to like
Yeah.
endure.
Yeah, I think if I didn't grow up constantly watching it over and over again, I think I would feel the same way about it. Because I feel like it's like my nostalgia bias is like getting in the way with this movie. Like if that wasn't there, I think I would feel the same way that Rex does. Like it's a very exhausting movie.
I guess.
I do agree in that sense, minus the I wouldn't necessarily say it's exhausting. Like if it was 2 hours long of just nothing but that, I would say so. But the thing is, like, I do feel like this is a movie where it is just like next part, next part, next part, next part, joke, 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 and it just like keeps bashing you over the head with just absurdity. That I do understand where you two are coming from in terms of like, yes, this movie can be very exhausting, but thankfully it doesn't take too much of your time to say what it needs to say. And what it says is not much, but I feel like it tries its best to give you a good time watching it,
Right.
and at least you'll laugh at least one of the jokes every like 10 minutes.
Right.
But I do appreciate that of how like it unabashedly like wants to give you a good time, like for kids and the adults.
I do have a question for you guys.
It is. I will say it is at least. There are jokes that do.
Oh
hit
yeah, there are
during
definitely
the
jokes.
movie. Even if I'm like checked out and like trying to like process what I just watched, there will still be a joke that will like bring me back into the movie, and will get me laughing until I'm tired again and I'm just exhausted.
Okay, who's on first? Okay, tier list of comedy. Who's on first? I Love Lucy, like conveyor belt scene.
Okay.
Cupcakeinator.
Wait.
Cupcakeinator is high up there.
Okay. Yeah, Cupcakeinator is pretty funny.
Cupcakeinator is like a magnum opus of comedy, and I don't care who disagrees.
It is pretty funny.
I will die on that hill.
I think and that was like the first note I had, just like as we were watching the movie, is Mike Myers ran out of impressions like very quickly, so he just did a Scottish accent for his one cat.
It's literally it's Michael
the...
Myers' best hits of in terms of impressions.
He literally did a Dr. Evil like later on too.
But I'm sorry to cut you off, Cade, but Derek, you wanted to ask us a question.
Yeah, I did have a question. So, which one do you guys like better, The Cat in the Hat or The Grinch?
Cat in the Hat.
Oh, The Grinch. 100% The Grinch. You talking about with Jim Carrey?
Because they're both Brian Grazer productions that were both produced by Universal. So like I feel they're very like 1-to-1.
That is so tough for me because I feel like Cat in the Hat to me has like the nostalgic ties with it. So I'm like bias wise, I feel like I like Cat in the Hat more. But I feel like The Grinch had like more of a vision, and Jim Carrey's performance is so commendable. I think even from like a makeup standpoint, even though everyone in that movie is like a little scary to look at, they went like full on with everything, and I think from a production standpoint, I think The Grinch is more commendable. I don't know, story wise I feel like they're kind of about the same.
See, I think Cat in the Hat's better, even though I will say both movies have a key issue, and honestly it's an issue that movies made from the Dr. Seuss novels tend to follow, where it's taking it, by like an hour and a half, it's already too long. Like there's always like there's different moments in different movies where it's like this can be cut out and it could make it a shorter movie and honestly a better movie. Like for both Grinch movies, it's the whole, as much as I think it is pretty funny, but the whole like Whoville competition of like who has the better house, like who cares? Who cares? I'm sorry. Also, both movies go through the issue of having too much time on the Grinch's day-to-day when the original short was just simple and established of he hates Christmas, he's a jerk. That's all you need to know. You don't need to know how disgusting he is. Even though they do give him a bit of an origin story, which that's a neat concept. It can just be kind of that. You don't have to see him walk around on his day-to-day. Hey, like how does he go through the holidays? It's just he should be just a loner that's just hates all to quote him, all the noise is what makes him lose it, pretty much.
Okay, just be honest and tell us that you prefer the Illumination version, and we could just.
I will actually say I will prefer to watch the Jim Carrey one over the Illumination one because
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah, because that Illumination one, I half watched it like once, and it was just, I don't know how long the movie is, but that entire thing was just a waste of time.
It was just boring.
It was so,
it's not even that long.
No, it's not long. It was just
my
boring.
My only takeaway from that version, I didn't even watch it, but I just think it's so funny that Tyler the Creator is the narrator and he did the soundtrack.
Was it Tyler the Creator? I thought it was.
No,
it's Tyler the Creator.
No, it's Pharrell Williams
I thought
narrates.
It was Pharrell.
But Tyler did the soundtrack.
Yeah.
That's funny. That's kind of funny. But
But yeah, it's like people like praise that soundtrack because they call it like Tyler's like hidden like best album.
But yeah, with that one, just to like quickly also like talk about the Grinch a little bit more. That Illumination movie completely assassinates the Grinch's character because he is shown having an act of kindness before his big change of heart. He should not have that at all. The point of the Grinch
Also
is
the
to be a jerk, to be a villain of the story, and he can't be. And he like does something nice by releasing the reindeer that he had stolen before back to its family. But like, if this was the Grinch in like the short, he'd be like, I don't care. He's still gonna help me.
The biggest disservice that movie did, the Grinch is too sterilized.
True.
He's too clean looking. He needs to look gross. He needs to look actually mean.
He's Smash for Wii U Grinch. And before he was Smash
Yeah.
Bros. Brawl Grinch.
Yeah. Back to Cat in the Hat.
Yeah, back to Cat in the Hat. So yeah, just to get back on track, because we haven't even gotten to meeting the main characters of Cat in the Hat with the kids. But yeah, I believe, was it you, Seb, that mentioned that the girl was named, she was Coraline, right?
Yeah, Dakota Fanning.
Yeah, she voices Coraline, and honestly, after you said that, I can kind of hear it. But I think what's more funny is just how Conrad and the mom's dynamic is literally just Kevin and his mom from Home Alone. It's the same dynamic.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
It's the same exact thing.
So yeah, so the main kids are Conrad, played by Spencer Breslin from...
The Santa Claus, too.
Is that what he's from?
Yeah.
He's the
What,
replacement
really?
for Bernard. Yeah.
Well, Bernard's still in the movie.
Oh.
He's still in it, but after the second one, Bernard leaves, which is funny since, so wait, he was doing Cat in the Hat and the Santa Claus 2, but Tim
Yep.
Allen couldn't do both either.
Yeah.
That's
Man
kind
was
of
on top of the world this
that's
year.
kind of funny.
That faithful year of 2003. But so yeah, Spencer Breslin as Conrad. His acting's awful
Oh, it's
in
terrible.
the movie. It's like Macaulay Culkin from like Home Alone 2 level, like awful.
No, Macaulay Culkin Home Alone 2 is actually pretty
Have
good.
you heard? No.
He's
Have you actually
How
seen
dare you
Macaulay
slander
Culkin
Mac
in
like
Home
that?
Alone 2? It is the most phoned in performance.
nah.
But we don't hold it against him.
Name one scene that's phoned in Home Alone 2. Name one.
Mom, Dad, where are you?
Okay, that's a voiceover. First of all,
It's still
that's a voiceover
like,
that was
even
done in
the-
post production, probably.
He could have put a bit more effort into it, though. That should be
I
easy
mean-
because you're not actually face
I
acting.
mean, no. Like, imagine. I'm pretty sure exactly what happened was they were like, "Hey, we need him to come in."
We're not going on a tangent for a different movie
Oh,
again.
okay, fine. Either way, I don't agree. I think Macaulay Culkin does a really good job in that movie, but the kid that
What about Spencer Breslin?
look, I'm not trying to bash child actors. Trust me, people do that.
Me neither.
Yeah, people do that way too much on the accolade alone, which is
Well, the thing
stupid.
is, I'm saying that, but I think Dakota Fanning actually did a really good
Yes,
job.
she is very good. I actually really liked her performance in this.
Yeah, she was really
She was
funny.
funny and had a very nice back and forth with the cat mainly.
She just does really
Yeah,
good at
yes,
just
she did.
being that like very like stilted monotone. Like for the character she's playing, she does like phenomenal work
Mhm.
doing it. It's also interesting. She plays Lilo in Lilo and Stitch. I think in the sequel, but I could be wrong.
Oh.
She kind of
I
plays
see.
the straight man in that trio when you think about it.
Yeah.
Because Conrad
Honestly,
kind
yeah,
of
because
just he's kind of with it for a bit, and then he's like, okay, this is too much, and the cat is just the cat.
yeah, we'll get. Okay, should we move on to Mike Myers as the cat?
No, let's first before we do that, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Alec Baldwin's in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
He gave
right.
this movie his best shot. Okay,
Did he though?
that's all I'm saying.
Oh my god. Zeb.
Yeah. that
Okay, we can get the shooting joke out of the way.
yeah. So yeah, Alec Baldwin basically plays the new boyfriend
Larry Quinn.
Larry Quinn, who's acting as like the new boyfriend to the mom, which we never got an explanation.
Mom's
Yeah,
boyfriend.
mom's boyfriend. We never got an explanation of why she's what happened to the dad. Which makes me think that maybe
the cat is the
Yeah,
dad.
I was about to say, like, the cat... I wasn't
Cat
thinking that.
dad.
I was thinking more the cat did something.
The cat and the dad.
Yeah.
The dad's the
The dad fell in the red
Yeah,
box.
but, like, his whole shtick is he's trying to get Conrad to military school. And then he, like, favors Sally a bit more, even though later on he's like, nobody likes a suck.
No one likes a suck up.
That's pretty funny.
I hope my mic picks up my teeth chattering.
I don't think it does.
But yeah, after him comes Mrs. Kwan, who I think has probably the easiest paycheck in this entire movie because she spends half the movie just asleep,
Half the movie hanging from a coat
hanging
rack.
from a coat rack, and just asleep. Which brings me to my next point: how do you fall asleep watching those politics? Especially when it gets so violent like that. That's so
for
funny.
those who somehow haven't seen the movie, when Mrs. Kwan, when their mom, Kelly Preston, R.I.P., leaves the kids in the care of Mrs. Kwan, the babysitter, they turn on TV, and it is like Taiwanese politicians fighting.
I think it's
and it is
specifically
the funniest bit in the movie.
It's specifically a filibuster. I'm pretty sure is what's going on.
Right.
Yeah, so anyway, so it's just like, yeah, you tell them, no more big government. By the way, Mrs. Kwan is a very racist depiction. It's a kind of a racist depiction.
Not kind of, very was the right word there.
Yeah.
But, like, I guess it works because she's barely in the movie, and she spends the rest of it just asleep. But, like, come on. Be better.
Bo Welch, be better.
Be better, Bo Welch.
We expected more from you.
Now on to Peak in this movie, the cat. So,
Oh, I thought we were gonna talk about Cade's catering.
Kate's, oh yeah, we can talk about Kate's catering.
So we have a Clint Howard cameo in this movie.
Okay.
And I really, like, this movie took away the Seuss live action universe. And I was expecting Clint Howard to be a Nick Fury type character. He was going to be in every single movie, I bet. So, yeah, Clint Howard is 2 for 2 for the live action Dr. Seuss movies.
Yeah.
He was the mayor's assistant in The Grinch, and he is a caterer.
He's Cade.
For like 10 seconds. He's Cade, yeah.
He is
His
Cade.
name is literally Cade. He is Cade. And we don't judge Cade for that.
Exactly.
He didn't pick his name.
But yeah,
So
after that, then the cat shows up, which I got a question for y'all. Where, out of 5, where does the cat rank in funnies?
Is 5 the funniest?
5 is the funniest.
That's like a 4.
4?
yeah, probably a 4. One number for each of his fingers in this movie.
4.
But so the only reason I put him kind of at a 4 is just because, one, the suit is super distracting of just his face. His face looks like a cardboard cutout. First of all, like, they did not even try to try to mesh the costume well at all, like, between his face and the fur texture. But I think that is because of Mike Myers himself. So this was during Mike Myers' like weird prima donna period where he was just an absolute garbage person on set. So apparently in this during the production, I believe he, like, no one can look at him in the eyes. Like, he was very distant from the rest of the cast, and I think he just constantly complained about being in the suit. So I think he had issues with the costume itself, so I think they had to streamline it a bit more so he'd, like, be less bitchy on set. Hold on, let me look this up because I don't want to be, like, absolutely wrong.
Right.
Yeah, like casting aspersions about Mike Myers 20 years
Yeah.
ago.
But
Yeah.
But yeah, I asked this question because I kind of want this to be a new, like, segment we do on the podcast in case we ever encounter a character that is purely just for comedy, whether main or, like, side character. Basically, your genies from Aladdin type characters, where they show up and they're just doing bits the entire time. So I want to ask about the cat, and then I said you weren't here last week, but Rex and Derek, where would you rank Monsieur Gustav from Grand Budapest out of 5?
Okay, wait, real quick.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
just gonna say is, so, so apparently they described it as a nightmarish experience filming the movie, largely because of Myers' behavior on the set. They revealed that the cast and crew were always waiting around for him, and he was often in a bad mood due to the high temperatures he endured while wearing the Cat in the Hat outfit. So, kind of half-truth, because I don't really blame him.
Right. I mean,
That being in that suit must have been terrible.
yeah, it must have been pretty bad. But yeah, what would you guys rank Monsieur Gustav out of 5 in funnies?
5.
I would say a 5 too. I think the cat is a good 3 in funnies, because there is some bits which I have written down, a bunch of bits that he's done, some good, some bad, and I want to go through them with you guys as we go through the episode or the movie.
What was your favorite cat quote in this movie?
I like Scream and Run a lot.
My favorite.
I just love how he just takes a breath after first he's saying, "They'll never find us in here." Scream and run.
Honey.
Which, by the way, right next to that, this is what I mean. They put way too much effort in the humor and sight gags in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
I always love the bit where they're looking at the character, and the character ends up behind them somehow.
The camera pans.
They
yeah.
do and the camera pans. It's like, what just happened? And they do a ton of gags like that, where it's a lot of fourth wall breaks and stuff like that. But it's just he is a force of nature in this movie. He just does not abide by the rules, and that I think that what is a lot of the humor is from, and it's the funniest thing. He just doesn't care at all, and he just doesn't abide by logic.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I feel by the way, my favorite quote in this movie was, you're telling me you hire this woman
To sit
to
on
sit on
babies?
babies?
That's disgusting.
That's disgusting.
I'll do for nothing.
That's so great. But yeah, I feel probably in terms of funniness scale, probably between probably a 3.75.
That's so
if I'm being
specific.
ultra specific.
That's a weird
It's just-
rating.
It's weird because I was gonna do 3.5 to 4, but the thing is, I feel it's mostly just because Mike Myers is kind of resting on his laurels. He's just kind of sticking with impressions that worked for him in other movies.
Yeah.
There's the aforementioned Austin Powers, the heavy Shrek, the Dr. Evil vibes that he gives off.
The heavy Shrek.
The heavy Shrek implications.
Yeah.
And
Sorry, go ahead.
And I do wonder, I kind of wonder if maybe part of that might have been just the stress of him being uncomfortable in the suit.
yeah.
So I wonder maybe if his performance was more, he was relying on something maybe he was more familiar with comedically to get his job
Maybe.
done.
And also just because The Grinch came out and Jim Carrey blew Mike Myers out of the water in terms of just being one with the costume and just mobility
That is true.
and just character
Yeah.
acting.
I will agree on that. I think Mike Myers is... I think he definitely suffers with the actual movements of being the cat, because it feels just like an impersonation of Jim Carrey. But
Because I think
Yeah.
Mike Myers can be... It's not like Mike Myers is a naturally, stilted actor. He can do physicality, in, the Austin Powers series
Yeah.
and stuff like that. He can be very fluid if he wants to. I think it was just, a costume thing. Maybe he just didn't want to exert weight, too much because of how the set was.
yeah.
But,
Right.
yeah,
Or maybe he just didn't want to pass out from heat
That is also
exhaustion.
true.
yeah,
Or
that's
something,
what I
you know?
mean. That's what I mean.
Or
from,
dehydration.
the set.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just thought suit had a cooling system.
Oh man, that'd be great.
But anyway, so the cat shows up. He scares them. He gives a song and dance routine, and this is when
Oh my god.
Mr. Hubba Floob's character shows up, but not as his character.
Yeah, easily the worst character in the entire movie.
I think he's funny.
I don't. I did not laugh a single time whenever he was on screen.
He plays the fish.
Yeah, he plays the fish.
He plays a terrifying CG fish with giant old eyes.
Half the time, like until he popped back up in the scene, I completely forgot he existed after he was talking to the cat. Like,
after seeing the movie, I don't remember anything the fish does.
He just complains.
But that's the entire thing. One of his first lines in the movie is "Remember the fish." So apparently he didn't do his job.
Is that what he says?
Remember the fish?
Yeah.
You bought me for.
I don't.
I
don't.
I will admit he does.
Bought me at the store, loved me for 2 weeks, and then nothing.
Yeah. Which, if that's the logic, then he should be dead. By the way, if they just completely neglected him, unless the mom's taking care of him.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. So I think fish, 0.5 on the funny scale. Cat, I'd say cat is maybe like a 2.
That's fair.
Because I don't know, I feel like sometimes he's funny, most of the time he's just kind of lukewarm with me.
He's very
and
very
I don't know.
Awkward sometimes.
Yeah, he does do kind of the awkward thing where he like laughs at his own joke, which I feel like sometimes is kind of endearing, other times is just kind of whatever. I don't know. I didn't really think he was that funny. Gustav is a 5. For Grand Budapest Hotel.
Just to round it out real quick. But
yeah, no, he's not in Cat in the Hat.
No.
He's not. The movie would have. Yeah.
Though it is, we mentioned this in the commentary. It is funny how we went from Grand Budapest to Cat in the Hat, and how they have very similar color palettes. Just very bright, like green and pinks, and like just very bright colors.
Is this where we make the comparisons like we did in the commentary?
No. We'll save that for whoever wants to listen to the commentary. But back on the fish real quick. I actually just remembered one joke that I think Sev and I definitely laughed at, but I'm not sure Derek or Rex did. Is when when the cat's like doing I don't know if it's part of his number or like when he's like doing a party or whatever, but the fish is like, he broke at least 17 of your mother's rules. And then he calls City Morgue 18! 18! Which I never got that joke beforehand because he just screamed out something when I was a kid. I was like, alright. But like, it was just something so quick.
I think it's just the fact of how like out of left field it was that he was calling the morgue. I wonder if that was one of the mom's rules for some reason.
It was.
Yeah, it was.
Was it? Wait, what was the exact quote? What was it, like speaking to the dead?
No, one of the rules was do not call the city morgue again, because that's what Conrad did for a bit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
He basically.
Yeah. So yeah, this top tier joke. This is what I mean. The jokes have layers, like onions, if you will.
They have layers, donkey.
Donkey.
Yeah. But yeah.
I think the humor it's not just like adult jokes for the sake of adult jokes. It actually has like thought put into it for a lot of it.
It has thought put in for at least the cat. I don't think it has the same for Thing 1 and Thing 2. Which I guess this is the best time to get to that part of the movie.
I personally call him by I personally call Thing 2 by Chocolate Thunder.
Or Ben.
So. Or Ben.
Okay, that definitely was one of the jokes that made me laugh. Just because of how unexpected that was for me, with listing all the names for Thing 2, Thing A.
Yeah, Thing 2, Thing A, Chocolate Thunder, or Ben.
Thing King,
Chocolate
Super
Thunder.
King.
Yes. But yeah, that whole bit, basically, I paid half attention to whatever was going on with the Thing 1 and Thing 2, because as the movie shows, they were brought out with a big red crate, and it's very ominous, and it was like pulsing like with energy, and it was just like very, very odd. And then there was a line that the cat said where he's like, it's a crate and it's basically a portal to my world, which by that logic he's basically like the Doctor from Doctor Who. He's basically one of the Time Lords. He is
an all-powerful being of chaos.
All-omnipotent being.
Can the Hat can solo Thanos if he wanted to.
He probably could. He honestly probably could.
Yo, Doctor Strange and the Mother of All Messes.
Oh.
I would watch that.
Dog. That would go so hard, actually.
Yeah,
No.
if only Marvel had the guts to do that.
Oh, I'm gonna make that. I'm gonna make that poster.
Oh.
I'll figure out some way to do it. But yeah, that whole crate basically it establishes the ultimatum that comes up, or not like the ultimate, like the timetable of everything, where they lose the lock for the crate, and the lock gets on the dog's collar and jumps, and the dog like gets out of the house and runs away, which means that if they don't get this lock back on the crate, it's going to basically, his world's coming into the human world, and it's gonna like combine to make the mother of all messes.
So an incursion.
Yes. Pretty much, yes. And all while this is happening, we see Alec Baldwin is a deadbeat.
Oh yeah, a total slob.
Yeah.
Maybe this is what Secret Wars is going to be about.
That would be pretty funny. So I got a question though about Alec Baldwin. Why can't he file for unemployment?
Because he's famous.
I don't know.
Famous people can't file for unemployment.
Fair enough.
You're saying this like he hasn't done so already.
It doesn't look like he has. And if so, what the hell?
You've seen that house. I mean, they're repossessing his TV, so he's certainly not like making a lot of money, but it's probably enough to get by through unemployment.
Yeah. You're repossessing my TV.
My TV that was playing like fucking PG aerobics on.
Yeah.
Like ass aerobics.
Oh my god.
So anyway, Cade sends out. Well, hijinks ensue between the kids and Conrad. We already established thing 1 and thing 2.
Mm-hmm.
They throw Nevins, their dog, Nevins, out the fucking window.
We should explain why though, because thing 1.
Is
yes,
there a
there's
why?
Because thing 1 and thing 2, the way they function, is they do the opposite of what you tell them to do.
Oh, that's right.
Which will come back. Which we'll get there when we get there, but that comes back into the movie. That's something I did not realize comes back into the movie to get paid off.
Yeah. So, but before this happens, Conrad is playing with a lock that's on the crate. He lock picks it. It's a really cool crab lock that goes. Mine.
He like barely even lock picks. He must have his stats in lock picking, just like in Fallout or Skyrim.
Oh, absolutely. He maxed out in lock picking. Do you think he actually maxed out in charisma? Fuck
no. If he did, he would be able to.
He'd be a better actor.
Yeah. He wouldn't have a lisp.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, so the crab lock gets off, locks onto Nevins. Nevins gets thrown out the fucking window, dies. He doesn't actually die, but he runs away.
But yeah.
And so they have to chase the dog down.
Uh-huh.
So they go.
They go to. And they find the dog talking to another dog, and the cat's.
Oh yeah, it was a pug named Frank.
Yeah, it was a pug named Frank, and.
I like to imagine it's the same pug named Frank in Men in Black.
Pretty
Yeah,
that
Frank.
Would be a good one. Wait, that might have actually been a reference. Wait a second, I didn't think about that.
Imagine. I doubt it. I feel like I always look at a pug and I say he looked like a Frank.
Yeah, but yeah.
And I look at my brother Frank and I say you look like a pug. Yeah. So anyway.
The cat like does his whole bit with he has a hoe in his hand. He goes, "All right, Nevins, time to die," and then he scares it away. And then probably one of the.
Who does he blame?
He blames the hoe.
Not the hoe, the dirty hoe.
Yeah. Which, like, we should talk about
Which, by the way,
the more adult humor in this movie.
real quick, as he does that, it's a stupid joke, but I feel like it redeems itself for the fact that when he leaves the dirty hoe, it stands up when he's leaving. There's just like so much like blink and you miss a joke.
I do like
in this fucking movie.
I do like the bit where he's just like, "I'm sorry, baby, I love you." I do like that bit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this movie is very raunchy. It does an erect penis joke when he's looking at a picture of
specifically
their
his
mom.
hat, just boing.
Yeah.
There's even a record scratch, just and him looking at the camera going awkward.
Oh, by the way, this takes me back. I remember watching bloopers for this movie, and there is a blooper reel where they're going through, the kids and him are going through a slip and slide, and so the kids go first, and then the cat's on a lawn chair going down, looking back at that full page spread, and if you look closely, it actually has like a Playboy spread. Like, if you look at it, and I think it's like uncensored too, so it's like, holy shit.
Yeah, no wonder was not gonna fly.
But I'm
someone
just
must have
like,
seen
oh
it
my
and was like, "Yeah, no, we're not keeping that in."
I could see why it didn't make it.
Yeah.
But imagine spending so much time on a scene for a movie during production only to find out it gets deleted.
I mean, yeah. I mean,
I feel like you just have to accept that when you're making the movie, really.
sometimes, yeah.
Tax write-off? Hell no. Coyote vs. Acme was just one long deleted scene.
So was the Batgirl movie.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Anyway, back onto the Cat in the Hat. They actually have a decent character moment with Sally, and it comes in at probably one of the worst times because it grinds the scene to a halt, because at that point it's been constant joke. Oh, thing one, thing two are in here. Joke. Okay, Alec Baldwin joke, and then somber, like Sally realizing that she doesn't have any real friends. It's like
with the birthday party,
and it comes to such a halt.
They do establish at the beginning that like Sally will immediately ditch friends if they oppose her, which is really funny. But yeah, they do bring it back, and it's like a really weird offbeat. It's like, everyone I know is there.
Yeah.
Why didn't they invite me?
Yeah, and one of those kids is Beans.
Oh.
Yeah.
And then they go into the darkest scene in the movie where they lynch the cat.
Yep.
Yeah, they pretty much do.
They full on did that.
They beat him.
Yeah.
They beat him with sticks while he's hanging from a tree. It's horrifying.
For context.
It is a funny image.
It is pretty funny, but for context, the reason why they did it is because he replaced the piñata that was there
to hide.
Because
the kids were coming.
Yeah, and the rule is that for the cat is that the cat cannot be seen by anyone. Only the two kids, Conrad and Sally, are the only ones that can see the cat. And
is that established?
I don't think it's ever said, but it's heavily established that the cat can't be seen. Because he's in person. Yes.
He is very much like seen by everybody.
It's probably because it's in the contract. He can't be outed by anyone. Therefore, he can't be liable for what's going on. It's never specifically said, but I think with that scene of him with the contract, I think that's what it's supposed to mean.
I don't think it is. I think it was just like a funny contract scene that they do bring up at the end, I believe. Yeah. And I do think they mentioned something like, "We don't leave until you are satisfied."
Yeah.
Or to that extent,
something like that. Anyway, so the cat is hiding as a piñata, and gets a full-on, like, beaten so much, and then the kid that we get Beans,
the cat with the bat meme.
Yeah, we get the cat with the bat
Beans.
We got first Beans full-on, just nails him in the nuts.
He spades him and neuters
Yep,
him.
pretty much. Which,
That's what that certificate was in his contract. That's how it happens.
yeah, that's totally how it happens. But yeah,
By the way, yeah, when they're going through a contract, he takes out a certificate, ladies and gentlemen, that says he was spayed and neutered.
Yeah. And then after that, we get the cat hitting a kid meme, which I didn't realize that was a meme at first. But it is a pretty good one. And then I forget how they get from because I think Alec Baldwin gets the dog, right? He then gets the
Yes.
dog and he's going to go talk to the mom. So they have to try to go catch up with them, and then the cat's like, "We could take my car." And then
It takes out this wild contraption, this wacky racist looking ass, amazing vehicle,
Well, first-
which I wonder if it's still around.
First
I
they-
hope it's
they
not.
did
but
a-
it's fantastic.
No,
No,
it's probably not.
destroyed, but they did a fake out with it. Where they tried to show like kind of like a Range Rover type thing, and it's like, oh man, this is a cool car, and then he takes off, like, that's just the dust cover, and it looks like the clean version of Batman's Batmobile in the Tim Burton Batman movies, with like with the jet engine and all that.
That's a jet engine in the back and everything.
Which actually has a good bit in it on the way there, where it's the steering wheels, where he's like, two people can't drive. You're right. We should all drive. And then the cat pulls up his own steering wheel. It's a good bit, but just to fast forward a little bit, we get basically the cat doing a Moist Critical impression. And
Oh, yeah.
and it's just in retrospect, it's so jarring to see how close he was by accident of that impression.
I have a problem with the word dog. I don't use the D word per se because I think that's really, really wrong.
Yeah.
I prefer. However, if you're willing to give me your Canine America, I'd be more than happy to. How much?
Hello,
is that
my fellow
canine?
canine Americans.
How much is that Canine America in the window?
And then
Oh,
he hands
yeah, we missed the best prop in the movie.
the pen.
The oversized pen that requires two hands to hold.
Yeah, that is a good visual gag.
Logo on it and everything.
Yeah, that's a good visual.
I wonder if that pen actually did function on set.
I doubt it. That'd be really funny if it did, but I doubt it. But yeah, basically the cat tricks Alec Baldwin to give the dog back during that, and then hijinks ensue where basically the cat opens a pocket dimension to a rave, and he loses his hat, and
Yeah.
which I later on it's revealed that he didn't actually lose the hat. But in that moment, I was thinking, what would happen if someone else put on the cat's hat? Does it turn them into the cat in the hat?
Or does it transfer his powers,
Right.
or does it what
would
I
happen?
didn't
What would happen?
yeah, what would happen?
Because it's proven that you can take the hat off. So has the cat ever had to deal with a kid that tried to take the hat off the cat and put it on himself? And if so, I want to see a movie like that and see what happens. I want a scene equivalent to the Willy Wonka Chocolate Rivers scene, where it's just nightmare fuel the entire time as someone else puts on the hat and just like basically loses their mind. It wouldn't be funny, but it'd be kind of on brand, you know?
I'm not sure if the Dr. Seuss estate would ever allow that to go into
Well,
production.
let's wait until it's public domain then, like they do with Steamboat Willie.
Yeah, or Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah. But yeah, they get the dog back. The cat loses its hat, Is it how did they lose the cat again, or is it that they're on their way back to the house? The mom and Alec Baldwin.
Oh yeah, and I think this is when they call back Thing 1 and Thing 2.
This is when they call back to Conrad is like,
right.
Hey, Things, don't help us get back home, and then they pull up with Alec Baldwin's car.
Yeah, but he also says, that's right, the opposite. Hey, Thing 1 and Thing 2, don't stop us from going home or whatever. Yeah, he just says it on his own. It's really funny.
Yeah, it's very.
But anyway,
and then he's like,
yeah,
don't.
They get in the car.
They get in the car, and then as they're driving, they enlist even more help from them by basically saying, don't help stall them, or like whatever. And basically, Thing 1...
Yeah, don't
stall them. And basically, Thing 1 and Thing 2 pretend to be police officers to ticket the mom for speeding as they race back to the house. Which brings me to my next question. How did Alec Baldwin, like, catch up to them so fast? Like, is he just the Flash?
Did he take their bike?
Yeah, he took
their bike. Oh, that's right.
Yeah, he took their
their moped scooter.
He took Thing 1 and Thing 2's bike.
Yeah, they're like
right.
police cycle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I was just thinking, it's like, how did he get back there so fast? Is he like the Flash or something? But no, that makes.
Do you think Thing 1 and Thing 2 would have turned on their body cam footage?
Never...
Imagine if it became a full-on like situation. It's like, circle on the ground, get down. Get down!
It's like in Shrek 2 where it's tonight on nights.
Nice.
Tonight on things.
It's like live leak footage, like you see like Alec Baldwin gun Thing 2 down, and you see Thing 1's perspective. Alec Baldwin's no stranger to that, so I'd believe it. Whoa.
Anyway.
But anyway, he's just like...
Anyway,
oh my god.
Yeah, but Alec Baldwin catches up to them when they get back to the house, thinking that it's going to be like a complete wreck. And instead they find not only is the house completely like squeaky clean, it's also desaturated in color and is almost like in a more serious light when the cat disappears and then reappears right behind Alec Baldwin in like a Freddy Fazbear like jump scare status, to the point where the cat or Alec Baldwin like backs up and then falls through wallpaper into a purple river or purple ocean, and the entire house has transformed into the mother of all messes. Which I cannot be the only one to think that place kind of reminded me of the final like island in the end of Super Smash Bros. Brawl. It's just ocean.
Yes,
it's just ocean and then rocks. That's it.
Not wrong, to be honest.
Yeah, it's, and I don't know who came up with that idea of how that world works, but man, does it not function as any place that can be have any sort of habitat. Yeah. Where do we go from here? Like at this point in the movie, I'm completely like what's the right word here?
Deactivated.
I basically I'm starting to tune out now. I don't know what.
Really? Because I feel like at this point in the movie, I've already been so tuned out that I'm coming back into the movie, where I'm like with the toilet, the flaming toilet.
Yeah.
Then I regained consciousness, and I was like, oh, this is, I'm enjoying this again.
I think it's just the issue is that we have gone through over an hour of just non-stop jokes and bits the entire time, and then all of a sudden it's a somewhat serious moment, to basically setting up for the like third act and like the finale here, and it's just like all of a sudden it went from high energy to low to medium like energy. Like it's just like a very like crazy. I don't know what I'm saying right now. But I'm basically just trying to say that this movie at this point got all over the place to the point where they're trying to shut the crate.
And then Mrs. Kwan slides in.
Yeah. Mrs.
Literally.
Kwan
They built
comes in.
Dude, you know how on the SpongeBob movie they built a giant replica of David Hasselhoff?
Yeah.
I want to see where the Mrs. Kwan replica is. The like 12-foot long one that they used. Because the whole thing is they're riding Mrs. Kwan, who's like just floating on the water, still sleeping.
Yeah.
But in the far out shots when they're actually using a set, they have this like built Mrs. Kwan prop that is like 12 feet long, and it is the funniest thing if you pay attention to it.
Yeah, and then basically, as like the characters say, it's like an amusement park ride. To which the cat says, and you can...
Amusement park? You mean like at Universal Studios? Cha-ching!
And then it keeps going. Yeah.
It stops dead in the middle of the drop.
Yeah.
For him to just chill out Universal Studios.
Yeah. I respect it.
How many people do you think went to theaters and right after that happened they were like, I need to go to Universal now. The cat told me to.
I doubt it. Maybe like one person. That you, Seb.
One guy. Me.
It was you. It was you, Barry.
And then I went to Universal like 12 years later, after my first viewing.
Off topic. Has anyone actually been to Universal Studios? I've been there a couple times.
I haven't.
I've been there.
I've only been there once.
I've been there once, Rex.
I want to go there again.
Yeah, only once. It was years ago too.
I only went there once. I'm in the same boat as Rex. I went when I was like 17, 18. Yeah, it was super crowded, but I had a lot of fun there. I want to go there again when they open up Super Nintendo World.
Yeah, when they open up Epic
in
Universe.
Florida.
Yeah. I was actually
at Universal Florida.
Yeah. Again, just quickly, just an off-topic thing. I've been to Universal twice now. And both times were back before the DreamWorks stuff came in. Like, the first time I went was before even the Fast and Furious stuff and, like, the new Jurassic Park stuff. Like, before all the new rides came in that everyone loves for Universal is when I went. So I have missed out on a couple of the newer rides. But with Epic Universe coming out, I think all the wait times for those rides are just going to go down. So therefore, I can ride them just fine.
I want to go. I want to go to Universal on like an off season, like fall or whatever. Because like I never want to go during the summer because that's just always when it's like super packed.
Yeah, it's always good to go during the spring and during the fall for both Disney and Universal, from what I've experienced. But
I would love to go back to Disney, but I'd be equally as fine going to Universal. I love my time in Universal.
Yeah. All right. So basically, they do the whole amusement park ride. They get to the crate that's spilling out purple goo. Purple goo.
Right. The purple flurp.
The fucking lean. It's fucking lean.
Yeah, imagine the orange, like, splash logo from Nickelodeon, but make it purple. That's pretty much what it kind of looked like.
It's fucking
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
It's fucking ooze.
Yeah. So, basically, they're trying to shut it, and there's like a vortex or whatever going up, and it's starting to suck up everything in the house and like have it disappear forever. And Sally starts to get sucked up, and Conrad's like, I can't save you unless you let go. He's basically saying like, I'm gonna sacrifice your life to save us all, and she's like, okay. And then as soon
oh yeah, okay. By the way, this is like the exact same as. This is like the same scenario as Shark Boy and Lava Girl. If you know, you know.
Oh god. That's a movie I
I still have not seen that
Trust
movie.
me,
You haven't seen Sharp Boy Lover?
that you're off better have not seen it, Rex. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, because I keep hearing people who like absolutely love that movie, but then every once in a while I'll hear someone who's like, no, do not watch that movie.
Have you seen Spy Kids 3D?
No, I have not seen any of the Spy Kids.
Me neither.
You're
films.
missing out.
Yeah.
You're missing out.
So is it bad I've only seen the third Spy Kids movie? I haven't seen the first two.
Oh, Cade, I know you've only seen Spy Kids 3D. I took him to the VR Cafe at still open, and all we did was we rented a booth just to watch Spy Kids 3D.
Yep.
I'm sorry, kid.
Yep. This is my friend since third grade, people. He makes me watch absolutely just bad movies.
This is my
Like a true friend.
This is my friend since third grade, people. He doesn't enjoy fun.
Seb,
He doesn't enjoy Elijah Wood being in the movie for 2 minutes.
Seb, you've made me watch Spy Kids 3D, and you defend From Dusk Till Dawn.
Cause it's
Oh, God,
genuinely
that movie.
good. You're just a fuck.
Another episode.
Another episode.
Okay, it's
yeah,
good.
that's another episode. That's a debate for another episode.
It's good except for the foot fetish shit. I don't condone that.
It's good until they get in, like, to the bar in general. Anyway, so they basically seal the portal, and the house is a wreck, and they basically tell the cat to leave. And again, this is another point in, basically, it's a very slow, like, scene playing out of basically them coming to the conclusion of basically Conrad needs to learn to be more responsible, and Sally needs to have learned to be less of a control freak. And they are like, we may be in a tough spot, but at least we're in it together. But then, and as the door opens, they're thinking, oh man, mom's gonna kill us. But when the door opens, it's the cat.
It's Smash Mouth.
It's the cat.
Yeah, it is Smash Mouth.
They play okay, Shrek, 1 Smash Mouth song.
Shrek-
Cat in the Hat, 2, baby.
Shrek
Shrek
has
is 2.
Wait, where's the second
Really?
In
one?
the beginning and the end.
It's I'm a believer, and never mind. I am wrong.
Sure.
Okay, can
Oh,
you put
well,
in
I
big
forgot about
words?
that.
Seb is wrong.
Seb is.
Bottom
I'm
text.
gonna put in Seb is an idiot.
Fuck you.
Nah. Anyway, I just I can't believe how there's just this nice moment and then Smash Mouth.
It's getting
Yeah,
better.
the Smash Mouth and
You know what?
then the cat's fixing the
cat-
house
Yeah, the
or
cat
something.
is fixing the house the entire time.
The Beatles have
So
been
like,
mad
so why did he
silent
even
since
leave?
Since Smash
Why did he
Mouth.
leave the house?
How did he repair the house?
Because he had to.
He had to. It was in his contract.
I mean, yeah, I forget he's an all powerful being.
He's
so.
basically
course.
Doctor Who, when you think about it.
Do you think if Cat in the Hat snapped his fingers, he could potentially disintegrate their mom?
Wow.
Do you think you could just look at her and go perish, and it just fucking whittles away? Die.
But yeah,
That was that was what Mike Myers did to one security guard who apparently looked at him in the eye during the production of Love Guru.
Speaking of security guards, Alec Baldwin comes out of a Alec Baldwin comes out of a sewer drain, and he's all purple, and he basically becomes William Afton, non-canon, but he just he basically just is covered in purple slime, and comes in like an insane patient.
Yeah, so the entire time we're watching this movie and Alec Baldwin shows up, he is always wearing purple, and we constantly made jokes, this is the man behind the slaughter.
This is
Purple
guy.
But, purple guy! And at the end, he gets covered in purple goop, so he becomes a super purple guy.
Super purple.
This is him, This is him tarnished by the fucking animatronics. This is him out of the Springtrap suit.
Yeah. But yeah, basically at the end of the movie, the mom comes in and assumes that the kids were just doing fine and that she can trust them. Basically, her kids gaslight her into thinking that, yeah, nothing happened. We're just fine. And he's like, okay.
No.
And then her boyfriend comes in trying to tell her the truth, and she's just like, yeah, but I believe my kids more than I believe you. So, see ya. She basically dumps him. And
yeah, so everything is much better.
Yeah, it's getting better.
Getting better all the time. The Beatles have been mad quiet since Smash Mouth covered their song.
True. But yeah.
Smash Mouth has been real quiet since their lead singer died.
Ooh.
Too soon.
R.I.P.
Oh, hey.
To be honest, R.I.P. I feel bad.
I might cut that. Cut that.
Just censor it.
All right, now I'm not.
Yeah, just don't even cut the dialogue. Just put a giant censor over what I said.
All right, now I'm not gonna cut that since you asked for me to do that. I'm just gonna keep it all in as is. But yeah, no. Anyway, so.
Think two. Don't cut that from the podcast. Don't cut it.
Yes, I am thing too. Anyway, so yeah, they have the party. The world's tallest man tries to shake the boss's hand, and
oh yeah, that's
and
wow,
then
yeah.
The tallest fucking dude.
like he's
He's so
giant.
And then basically I don't know. Did she get like a promotion or something? I don't know.
No,
it was just a really good party, and then they jumped on the bed.
And then they jumped on the bed.
They jumped on the couch.
And they learned that you can make cupcakes out of anything.
Anything.
Oh yeah, right.
Yes,
course.
anything.
Anything.
I get you, and it looked like a bloody accident.
But yeah, and then we find out that the cat is still stalking them for some reason to narrate the entire story. But then breaks the fourth wall one more time and walks into the sunset. Cinema.
Like a force of chaos.
Oh yeah, he does.
He basically walks into the sunset.
He rides off into the sunset.
Searchers walk so Cat in the Hat can run.
Yeah. And that was the cat in the pompadour.
Yeah.
Bless you.
So yeah.
Gesundheit.
That was the cat with the bat.
That was the cat with the bat, ready to attack.
After he sat.
That's an awfully hot coffee pot.
He's gonna chew gum and sit on babies, and he's all out of gum.
I don't know.
I love this movie so much.
Yeah,
I still love this movie.
Yeah, I know you do. It's not that bad, as I remember. I probably would change my rate. I don't have no idea what I have it rated on Letterboxd, but if it's lower than
5 stars.
No, I wouldn't rate it.
5
my
stars.
God.
I wouldn't rate it
6
5
stars. 27 stars.
I'd say 2 stars, maybe. I'd probably
3. No, bump that up. Bump that shit up.
I'm gonna.
Just for the cupcake scene alone. Come on.
I am bumping up to 2 because of the cupcake scene.
Can you put on screen? Cade is uptight. Bottom text.
Bottom text. Seb is an idiot. Again.
Cade is so uptight. I'm gonna quote Ferris Bueller just to fucking roast you. You are so uptight.
Oh my God.
If you stuck a lump of coal up your ass, you get a diamond.
What?
Have you never seen Ferris Bueller?
I have seen Fearless Bueller. I have a steelbook of it.
Yeah, he's talking. That's when he's talking to Cameron
nice.
about it.
Oh, right, yeah, I forget.
Yeah, about being so. Yeah.
That is Cade to a T. Anyway, go watch Cat in the Hat if you haven't. You probably won't because we just spoiled the entirety of it.
Still, it's
But please watch
no.
it.
Trust me, it's honestly a better movie
Please.
to watch than to have someone explain to you. It's honestly a very fun movie to watch and just lose your mind to.
It's fun to watch to either get like drunk or high too.
True. Which
Maybe not high. You'd get really scared.
yeah, maybe.
Yeah, maybe not psychedelics.
Please watch in the theater if you can. It's doing not so great at the box office.
Yeah, since 2003, it has not done great in the box office.
They still.
I feel like
they got a chance.
Still have it in the theaters.
21 years, they'll turn it around. You wait.
Come on, the box office bump is gonna happen.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah, one day. Maybe for the 25th anniversary.
Yeah. That would be actually pretty funny if the 25th anniversary they make more money from that than they did when they initially released it.
I think they would have a good case of like them making money off it because it became such a meme.
Yeah.
But I mean we'll see.
Yeah.
Anyway,
that was Cat in the Hat. Like and subscribe on YouTube or follow us on Spotify. Rate us 5 stars on that or whatever podcast app you're listening to. If you're listening to the audio version of it, yeah, this has been CinemaDopes.
And if you don't rate us or subscribe, we'll get you, and it's gonna look like a bloody accident.
True. And if your things, everything I said, don't do it. So yeah,
Do it.
don't do it at all. But yeah.
Don't do it. Oh, I just got it.
We also got a Patreon where we have exclusive content, like the commentary track of us watching Cat in the Hat all the way through, along with previous movies that we've done episodes on. Plus a couple of bonus commentaries like 8 Crazy Nights, and soon we're gonna have exclusive content of Penny Films, where it's just a couple of us that want to sit down and talk about something very quickly, like Godzilla -1, which I rewatched recently. It's very good still. But yeah. That was CinemaDopes. Thank you for listening or watching, whichever one you're doing. Follow us on Instagram, both the CinemaDopes Instagram and our personal stuff. Follow us on our personal YouTubes, all that jazz. You know what to do. This is podcast.
Man, shut the fuck
Bye-bye.
up.
Bye.
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 Adios, muchachos.